Welcome to Like a Mom. This is a podcast where we prove that you don't have to choose between rocking it at home and building a thriving business. You actually get to do both. We're here to ditch the stereotypes, crush those limiting beliefs, and show you how the skills that you use every day that make you a great mom are actually the same ones that make you an incredible business owner. Let's dive into empowering conversations, practical tips, and plenty of inspiration and support to help you thrive in every part of your life. Because, like a mom, you're already unstoppable. Let's do this. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode. Today, we're going to talk about what I call the diaper bag theory. And I was having a conversation with, I had multiple conversations about this with women because, for whatever reason, we feel like in our business life, in our professional life, we feel like we're always needing more, or we are more prone to getting stuck and having fear of failure. But in our mom life, we don't necessarily deal with that as much as we do in our professional life. And so I recognized in myself throughout my experience that what I do as a mom and how I don't get stuck, how I operate as a mom, is exactly how I need to operate in my business and in my professional life. But for whatever reason, there is a wall, and as I switch over the wall, I was prone to changing and not operating this in the same capacity. And so when I was looking back over, my time running businesses and being a mom, of which I have done since all of my kids came into this world. I have had a baby on my hip as I was running a business, and I have done a few different businesses that I have started from the ground up, and I have grown, and I have taken over, and I have grown multiple different types of businesses with babies on my hip the entire time. My youngest kid has never gone to a school building, so she only knows life as being at home with me raising my kids. And everybody always asks, how did you do that? How do you do that? That's what I want to do. How do you do that? I don't want to send my kids off somewhere else most of the days. And I honestly didn't either. I was raised by a single mom who went to work, and I went to school, and she worked late, and she, did her job, and I was, at home with my older brother, or, at home by myself or whatever. And I wanted to spend my time with my kids while I could, and I wanted them to spend their time with me while they could. And so I just kind of started naturally doing this, but it wasn't always easy, and it wasn't always clear. I eventually kind of found a rhythm, and then looking back, by the time I got to my third business, I definitely had gotten into a rhythm, and I had way more experience. And so looking back, I was analyzing and looking at what was the difference between the first go around and where I am now. Obviously, my kids are older and they're not toddlers, but I had 3 babies in diapers at the same time. And so I did this over, a course of years with 3 young kids at the same time. And so I realized that as a mom, I just did these things naturally. I just had this natural talent of just doing all these things. But then when I would get into my business, at first wasn't. I was overcome by the fear and the, holding back. And I was, trying to figure out, why did I do that to begin with? What was it that caused me to do that? And then how did I change and not do that later on? And I mean, we all are going to get stuck by fear and, overwhelm at some points in time, but it didn't seem to be as much in my recent years as it was in the beginning. So I was thinking about it, and I came up with the diaper bag theory. And I tell women this all the time, and it makes it so clear, I think, because it's just an actual tangible visual representation of this process that we go through, and we all have experienced it because we all have diaper bags, we all have purses, we all have these bags that we we are carrying. And so it's really relatable to look at it from this viewpoint. Not to mention, that is more of a natural process for us. The process of having the diaper bag and the purse and the whatever, like that just came naturally to us. We didn't necessarily get stuck in overwhelm and fear of carrying a diaper bag, or, it just naturally came and we just figured it out. But really, it's exactly the same thing that we need to do in our business and our, professional life. And so I always say, think back to the first time that you packed a diaper bag. When you were that first time mom and you were carefully placing your diapers and your wipes and your bottle in this bag, you were putting everything that you thought you might need for this outing, for wherever you were going with your baby. You were putting that in the bag. You didn't know, like you were doing the best you could, and you were putting what you thought you needed in the bag. And then you went out. You took the action and you got in the car and you went out into the big wide world, and you had your baby had a diaper blowout, or it had this massive spit up situation, or you realized like you actually needed an extra container of wipes, or you the possibilities are endless that you come into. And so when that happens, you're like, next time I'm going to put extra wipes in there. Next time I'm going to get the rash cream. We lost that pacifier somewhere. It just magically disappeared. So next time I'm going to have a backup pacifier in this bag. And so when you get home, or the next time that you go out, you start putting something else in the bag. Or the burp cloth. I mean, I don't know how many times I was like, what happens to these burp cloths? Like, I guess we're just going to use this extra outfit that we brought, which now the outfit's ruined. So then, you know how it goes in mom life. But over time, your diaper bag evolves. It grows with you and with your baby's needs. And that's exactly how our business is. When we go to start a business, or when, we're like in the beginning stages, we're doing what it is that we think we need. And that is what we need to do. We need to do what we think we need. And so for my personal experience, my first go around, I thought I needed to understand how to do social media marketing. I thought I needed to know how to do the financial parts of the money part of it. Like I had this preconceived idea of what I thought I needed to, start this business. Like I, thought I needed to make it a legal entity. I thought I had these ideas of what the first steps were to make this business, a business. And that's what I did. And then as I was doing that, I figured out, how to create a social media account. And I figured out at that time it was like Facebook was the thing. And so I figured out how to do that. And then I figured out okay, how do I make a post? Here's a picture that I can put on there. How do I put a picture on there? And then I started realizing and recognizing that I needed more. Just like what happened with the diaper bag. I took action, and with the tools that I thought that I needed, the knowledge, the resources that I thought I was going to need to grow my business. And I made my first trip out with this baby, with this business. And I learned, just like with the baby, really quickly, the experience that I had taught me really quickly that I actually needed something else. I actually needed something more. There was things missing in this metaphorical diaper bag of my business. And so that is the next step of the journey. We start with what we think we need, what we know, and then we take action. We go out in the big wide world and we get experience. And experience then teaches us what more we need. As time goes on, our diaper bag starts growing, starts needing to grow. And we start discovering tools and strategies and mind shifts that need to happen to make our business work, to make to grow our business. And so for me, when my experience started teaching me that I couldn't just put these social media posts out there, that was not going to work. I needed to have a call to action. And so in my call to action process, okay, I need to put a call to action here. What is my CTA going to be? At that time, it was all about getting engagement on your posts, and then getting them into an email list or getting them to sign up and purchase your, whatever it was. I quickly realized, okay, I'm doing this posting thing and I need to put a call to action on here, but in order to put a call to action on here, I have to have somewhere where they can sign up, and I don't have a website. And so I then realized that I now need to add a website into my diaper bag. I started investigating, how do you make a website? Can I make a website by myself? Because I can't afford to hire somebody to do a website for this business. What do I need for a website? Where do you get the pictures for a website? What are platforms for a website? And I really just started YouTube video watching and Google searching. And then I came across, all the different platforms, and I decided, okay, Squarespace is going to be what I'm going to try because they had a free trial and I could just do that and I can see how it goes. And, we're going to see if this works. And so I took what I thought I needed was a website, and then I put it into action. And I started playing around with this free trial. By the end of it, I ended up with a website. And so now I had a website in my diaper bag to go with my social media marketing. The experience of going out in the world and doing the social media marketing is what made me realize I actually am going to need, something else in my diaper bag. And so then I went and I did that something else, and I put that in my diaper bag. After I got the experience, it was the action that I took in the process of figuring out how to do a website. That's what I put in my diaper bag. And so it is exactly like what happens with our diaper bag. We start with these minimal things, and then it grows. And then over time, as it grows, we end up taking the pacifier and the onesies out, and we replace them with you don't take the onesies out. You always have a change of clothes when you have a young kid. Don't take the onesie out. You might take the bottles and the formula out and replace it with those little Cheerio snacks and some toys, like some teething toys. As you grow, as the kid grows, as you've had experience, your bag has shifted and changed. And that's exactly what happens in our business. That's exactly what's happened in every single one of my business. And so when I was a first-time mom and I started with my diaper bag, and then I went out and I got experience. But in my business side, I was putting all this pressure on myself. It felt like when I start this, everything needs to be in the diaper bag. I need to have everything in the diaper bag that I'm going to need, as if I wasn't going to be growing, or as if the business wasn't going to grow, as if the things in my diaper bag weren't going to change. I had this overwhelm and this pressure and this mindset that I didn't even realize that I had, that this diaper bag was going to need to be correct before I started, because there would be no alterations happening. Obviously, my brain wasn't thinking about this specifically, but in theory, this is exactly what I was doing, and this is exactly what was happening. And when you think about it in this way of a diaper bag, that sounds ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous that I would expect that, this diaper bag was going to be perfect before we went out, and I was never going to need to add, take out, adjust, modify, or change anything. And I didn't expect that as a mom. I did not expect that I was going out and this diaper bag was going to stay the way that it was the entire time I needed a diaper bag. But that is what I was pressuring myself with in my business. It was like I expected that it was going to need to be exactly like this before, I went. And so it seems absolutely ridiculous. And that's what keeps us so stuck. If we can get rid of that like pressure of the business needing to stay exactly like that, I think we can I know because this is how I do things now. It changes everything for you, and we can make so much more progress than we ever did before. And literally sometimes you have to stop and you have to think in your mind like, okay, let me view this through the lens of a diaper bag. And so as you grow, as your kid grows, you go to the park and you are out of snacks, but the other mom at the park has snacks and she starts sharing her snacks with your kid. Or, a new mom is out of wipes. She only had one container of wipes and the kid had a blowout and now she needs more wipes. And so you whip your wipes out and you start sharing the wipes with her. Throughout the process of momming, we share and then we learn and we grow in community with other moms. We have swapped countless numbers of tips, countless numbers of, snacks, countless numbers of diapers and wipes. And our business is the same way. We learn from others and we share our knowledge with others and we grow with others. I mean, there's moms groups galore. There's also women business owner groups galore. And they're like that because that is how we work. We share, we grow, we learn. In business, sometimes we forget that we need community. Like we need to learn from others. And we also forget that we need to share with others. Those two things are what helps us grow and helps us, get down the road in business just like it does in our mom life. We need to remember that sometimes we got to pull something out of the diaper bag and share with others. And sometimes it's not in our diaper bag, but it's in another mom's diaper bag. And it's okay to take whatever she's sharing with that's not in your diaper bag. And more importantly, it's okay to do all of that without any guilt. I mean, if you're anything like me, I feel like I need to have it figured out and I need to have it right. Just like I said, why did I think I was going to grow a business with the tools that I had then? Why did I think I needed every tool in the bag before I started? I put this pressure of perfection on me when in terms of my, business, then I start feeling guilty. I start feeling guilty if I don't know how, or if I didn't do it right, or if I had to ask somebody for help, or more importantly, lately I feel guilty about having to let things go in my business that no longer serve me. I have done business now multiple times. And so when you start a business, it is going to grow just like a kid. And the needs are going to change and you are going to grow and your needs are going to change. And you have to be okay with letting things go and getting rid of things, taking some of the things out of the diaper bag that no longer need to be in the diaper bag without any guilt. It would make no sense if you were still carrying around formula in bottles when your kid is 8 years old. It's time to get that out of the diaper bag. That's just extra baggage and extra luggage that we don't need to carry anymore. We don't have a problem getting rid of, setting the bag down and no longer carrying the diapers and bottles whenever, our kid is no longer using the diapers and bottles. But in our business, when it's hard for us to let go of a way or a thing that we started with and then not feel guilty about it. When I first started in business, Facebook was the thing, and Facebook marketing was the thing, and posting multiple times a day was the thing. If I had just hung on to that and clinged to that and I never shifted and taken that out of the diaper bag, I would have never got a website. And the website is where I had all my conversion. And I would still be hanging out over having all this pressure and all of this everything on me about how I needed to keep up with Facebook. And if it's not serving us, let it go. It can be easy, just like in our mom life, in our home. Like, we can make decisions in our home that makes it easy for us, that makes it feel good for us, that makes it align for us. Let it go and have no guilt or shame, because it's not failure. It's just growth. You didn't fail your kid because your 8-year-old doesn't want a bottle and like formula. It just grew. It grew. You grew that being to need more, to have more like than just a bottle and formula. And so when you take that bottle and formula out of the diaper bag, you didn't fail. You didn't fail. It served what it needed at the time, and then your baby grew, and now it's a big kid, and you've modified, and you're giving that big kid something different. And so that's what we need to look at it as in our business. Like, we're not failing, and there's no guilt or shame needed, because we grew this thing, and now whatever it is just no longer fits. It's just no longer needed. And so we have to let go of that to make the room for whatever new it is. And it doesn't mean we're starting over. It just means we're evolving. Like, we're not starting over as a mom when we no longer need the diaper bag. We're just evolving into a different stage of motherhood. It's not over just because we're putting the diaper bag down. And so if we have to sometimes just, change things, let things go in our business, or make something new, or, this isn't working anymore, and stop spending all of our time doing it this way, like, it doesn't mean that we're starting over or that it's a failure. When I was growing one of my businesses, it operated completely in person, one-on-one, in a little, in the community that it was in. And then we started an online component to it. And so I was starting something new and offering it to people that were not in like the community. My business was evolving then. It wasn't necessarily like I failed at the in-person, or that I, was starting completely over or completely new or whatever. It wasn't any of that. I was just making room in my business by creating a new thing that ultimately gave me more freedom and more time and more, without trading like the dollars for hours. And so like, I couldn't stop and get hung up on the fact of like, I'm no longer going to do that. I'm losing that. I failed that. I have to start over completely now from scratch, because I had to let go of some of those things so that I could have room on my plate for the parts of the business that ultimately were, going to serve me better. I encourage you to remember, as your business shifts, as you change, as you modify and grow, don't guilt and shame yourself. Don't view it from the point of failure, or like, don't cling to it just because, and don't put that pressure on that everything that you start with needs to be right, or everything that you put in the diaper bag you need to keep hanging on to. We don't do that as moms with our kids. We shift, we evolve, we grow, we go into different motherhoods. Our kids hit milestones, we hit mom milestones, and that's how we need to view our business. We need to embrace this diaper bag theory, this growth process, this whole, the exact thing we do through motherhood is exactly how we need to treat our business. Stop and remember and relate it to you as a mom raising kids through these different stages. View your business as if it was your kid, because ultimately it kind of is your kid. Don't get stuck in overwhelm or fear or self-doubt. Just trust the process. Start with whatever you have. Take the action. Like, you have to take the action to learn from your experience. You have to bring that baby home to learn what to do next. You don't learn everything you need when you birth the baby. You learn from action and experience, and then you adjust as needed. You adjust as things change. You adjust as it grows. So we don't resist that in our motherhood life, and so we can't do that in our business either. We have to take action. We have to learn from experience. We have to adjust as needed. As our business baby grows, some things need to come out of the diaper bag. Other things need to go in. We need to share. We need to learn. So next time you feel lost, or you feel uncertain, or you feel overwhelmed with your business, just stop and remind yourself of this diaper bag theory and ask yourself, am I treating this the same way I would treat raising my kids? Or am I putting extra pressure, extra guilt, extra shame, extra resistance? Am I clinging to things that need to go? Should I be sharing something now? Should I be learning from someone else? Like, just stop and remind yourself of the diaper bag theory and turn it into, what is this business baby of mine needing? How is it growing? How is it evolving? How am I doing raising this business baby of mine? And keep going. Keep growing, and know that just like in motherhood, which you're rocking, you are learning exactly what you need along the way in this business with this business baby. You totally have got this. You are doing great. And just like a mom, your business is doing great also. And remember, if you feel like you need to learn, you need to grow, you need to borrow something out of somebody else's diaper bag, or you just need somebody that can support you and walk you through the next steps of what to do, you can always book a one-on-one call with me, and we will work together to get you and your business where you want it to be. Thanks for hanging out with me on the Like a Mom podcast. If you love this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with another mom who's ready to thrive in life and business. Remember, you've got everything you need to succeed already inside of you. Keep going, keep believing, and know that you're doing amazing. Remember, being a mom isn't a limitation. It's your ultimate advantage. Until next time, keep thriving and shining like a mom.